Last couple weeks we have been racing the car pretty hard and we noticed a little bit of noise coming from our axle.
Oh yeah, there's definitely something going on up in there. We're gonna take a better look at some of these parts. Racing is definitely hard on axles.
So in the recent videos, we actually took the drive shaft off and we checked the pinion nut and we noticed that it was pretty loose. So it's probably best we crack the differential cover open and at least check the gears and maybe service the actual fluid, because it's been about 5 or 6 years since I've had it open. And we've been on a 1,000-wheel torque for a number of them. Not a super fancy video today, not gonna rock the world with what we got going on, but we're gonna get a chance to actually see, change the fluid out with some of the shockproof that we got, and very possibly might have to change some gears. So I'm not really sure how long it's been whining. I mean, in the last couple weeks after we, fixed the pinion nut that was a little bit loose. It's not going to take too much to actually get it out. We can take all the bolts off the differential and get our drain wheeled over here and get it all set up and let it drain for a little bit. Like I said, we're in here to check out the teeth because I'm pretty sure maybe there's some damage on the actual gear, the pinion and the ring gear. So the red fluid you see come out of my axle is actually a heavy shock proof. It's a 90, it's like a 75, 90, like a gear lube. It's really, really good stuff. I actually run the lightweight shock proof in my face plated transmission, which you can actually see a little bit of it. I got to clean up right here. It's like a bluish green. It's definitely it's worth every bit of, $20, $25 a quart because it's got a lot of protective coating that goes on your gears and on the stuff that takes a lot of shock load. And it's not terrible for the synchronizers, but I would definitely not run it in a transmission that's fully synchronized. You don't normally faceplate 5th and 6th anyways, so you don't really bother with it too much. So like I said, it's not terrible. We're gonna end up cleaning up these, checking the torque on my main caps, and I see what's going on here, bro. Check this out. What's going on here, bro? Why is that shim like that? See that? So after seeing that, I was just gonna make this a maintenance video, but we're gonna have to take this axle apart. And there's been some noise. So this is exactly why you nut bolt check your car. Sometimes you gotta take some stuff apart to figure it out, but we did find it. We are gonna end up having to take the axle out of the car, like the axle shafts themselves. I have 9-inch ends on this Mustang, so I don't have to worry too much. It's just, I could slide it out actually with the wheel and everything attached if I really wanted to. It's not a big deal, but we got to make sure that there's not excessive damage going on here, because that's not normal. When you see stuff like that, it kind of, maybe that cap is walked. I got to check to make sure that the housing's not cracked. Maybe it's, I don't know. There's a lot of things that this could be. Do due diligence and go in here and maintenance this thing. And to be honest with you, like I said, we've been pretty much 1,000-wheel torque, 900,000, 1,100 torque with this car for a number of years, and we're about to put the 408 back in it. And that 408's definitely got a lot of torque in it. We fixed out some issues with our couplers. We should be running double slip fit, but we'll eventually get there. We've had head gasket issues. We just had a lot of things that we had to do to maintenance this car because we've made a lot of laps in it in the last couple of years. But we're gonna freshen it up and take a look at some stuff just for safety reasons. Let's grab some brake cleaner and kind of spray it off real quick, get an idea of what we're looking at here. Why is this? Look, these things are just falling out. Look at that. Does that mean it's walking around or something? These didn't fall out. I don't think I see anything chipped, which is crazy. Gotta check that. So we're gonna get the rear slicks off, disconnect the brakes, zip tie them up to the side over here, and pull these axles. That way we can slide the axle out, take a physical inspection of it, and we're gonna actually take this spool out too and check it as well. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Here on the channel, you guys know we're trying to make a application between higher horsepower and lower horsepower cars. What I'm doing here on this axle is maintenance. You should also take your differential cover off once a year or so, change the fluid, check the spider gears. If you got one wheel peel, that probably means your clutch packs are pretty burnt out in your differential. And at this point, those wheel seals are probably leaking gear fluid. Okay, so you got the caliper bracket from the 9-inch end piece from Mosier, and we're gonna pull the axle out. Oh yeah, there's definitely something going on up in there. That's for sure. You can probably see it right there. Racing is definitely hard on axles, but these are 35 spline axles, and it looks like they're in really good condition. But you can see a wear mark right here on them that was starting to get bad, really. You can see it right there. Didn't hurt it any, but I think we're gonna be okay to reuse these axles. They don't look, the splines don't look bent at all. So this is what 9-inch ends looks like. They actually chopped the whole end off here, and they actually weld this little piece on. Same four bolt pattern that you would on a Fox body. And in my last video, we were talking about the Explorer, putting the Explorer piece on here. Now the Explorer piece is 3.5. And what I'm talking about doing is exactly what they do here with the 9-inch ends, just putting the Explorer end on. So if you did watch that, doing a little budget 31 spline, I got another idea as well that somebody mentioned in a comment we're gonna do too. But I wanted to show you this real quick. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side and skip all the video or whatever. And then we're gonna get the diff out and look what the hell's going on inside there. Because there's definitely some shims. There's some shit going on in there that's not supposed to look like that. So what I'm also noticing here is it's doing the same thing on the other side too. It must be time to replace those shims or something. I don't know. Splines don't look too bad, I guess. So these are Mosier 35 spline axles, and you can see, like I was showing you earlier, these are not in terrible condition at all. Nice, thick, strong axle. You know, at 1,000 wheel torque, almost 1,000, about 900 wheel horsepower. And a stick shift car too. You know, checked out pretty good. The seals weren't leaking. Bearings look like they're still in good condition. We're just gonna clean these stuff up and put them back in. But for the last leg of the video, we gotta get the spool out, clean it off, and see what the hell's going on with the shims. Not that it matters, but let's go ahead and look inside here, see if the shims are coming out here. Looks like the bearings and the shims are just fine. Axle was doing pretty well. Definitely want to keep these shims on the same side, or these main caps. These axle main caps or whatever. This looks like this is the side that's all jacked up for whatever reason. It's like at some point, I don't even really know. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. I don't see anything cracked in the housing here. We'll have to check that cap a little bit better too. This is ready to come out. So this is our problem right here. Now I want to take these out one at a time and look at them. So we'll set this over here. And we'll set this over here. So we have a solid shim on this side, the driver's side. I don't find anything broken here at the bottom. It didn't tear up the axle housing, so that's good. So this is the stuff that came in the kit. It's all gouged. Look at this. I was riding on the axle. There's a lot of shims there. I put this in many years ago, so a lot of wear and tear there. What I actually need to do is just find a factory shim that's close to like this size and get rid of this bullshit. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's what happened. That's probably where my problems were coming from. It also gave me a chance, like I said, to look at this, look at the pinion and ring gear, but that's probably where my noises was coming from. Let's go here and put this in. Bearing doesn't look scored up. Pretty good piece. Get a chance to look inside these splines. Okay, so we've been doing the maintenance on the car that we really wanted to get into. It's been probably about 2 years since I've been wanting to dig into the actual axle and see what was going on. Just recently, like I said, in the last couple months, started making a little bit of noise, started getting a little bit whinier at times, and I definitely knew something was wrong. So what we found earlier in the video was these shims that you pack on the side of your bearing to load when you're setting your actual gears. As you get a bunch of these shims in packages, and the other side had the solid shim from the factory Ford original one, which is kind of nice. So I think we're going to try to lessen a bunch of these up and try to find a stock one that we have in our pile. So this is just axle maintenance, guys. Axle maintenance, whether you're racing your car or if it's just factory, like you guys see me doing some axle maintenance on the black car's axle. It's kind of one of those things that nobody wants to do, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. But when you dig into it, you know, it's simple maintenance. You know, changing your clutch packs if you have a differential, that's always a really good maintenance item. Changing the seal, checking the, you know, you get you a chance to put new gears in. You could put a bigger diff in. You could put bigger axles in like you would from the factory or from like an Explorer. There's just a number of things that you can do. And doing maintenance on your axle is almost like you're doing maintenance on your clutch and your transmission fluid. It's a once a year thing that needs to happen. Crack it open, make sure everything's going good, C-clips aren't broken, axles aren't bent, whatever. Yeah, guys, just like we talk about on the channel, getting your shit off the jack stands, whether it's aftermarket or stock, getting the work done, getting in the shop and making it happen. I do appreciate you guys watching this far. If you guys enjoy this sort of content, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and let me know what you think. Got some merch for sale at Neomustangs.com. Got a new shirt out with the black car on it. You also can support the channel checking out the join button below, becoming a member. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one.